Shakur Stevenson is sick of everybody calling him a runner. He vows to make his opponent run on Saturday night and show the world what a runner really is when he cut off the ring and chop him down and get him up out of there. We're going to talk about what Shakur Stevenson have to do this Saturday night and what he promises the world he will do. Before we get into this, make sure you hit my like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's cook on it. So we finally here, y'all. After 8 full months out of the ring, 8 months of criticism, and the whole world, boxing world, that is, has been dogging Shakur Stevenson out. He's trash, he's a runner, he's boring, and so on and so on. So Shakur Stevenson is the most hated in boxing and also the most criticized in boxing. But the great thing about that for him is he's also one of the most talked about fighters in boxing. And when they talking about you, they always keeping you relevant. And haters gonna talk about you more than anybody. So you gotta take the good with the bad, and you gotta understand that if you use that negative energy in the right way, it's gonna carry you a long ways in the sport of boxing. So with him understanding that, he also has to understand this Saturday, with the weight of the world on his shoulder, he's also coming into free agency. Shakur Stevenson must put on a great performance, and Shakur has been vowing to do that. And not only is Shakur promising the world he gonna do that, he promising the world he gonna do it in spectacular fashion. Now, Shakur's not looked at as a knockout artist. He's looked at as somebody that's gonna box and move, especially after his last fight against Edwin De Los Santos. Now, in boxing today, I understand that we have a whole different fan base than we've ever had in boxing before. We got a casual fan base, and the casual fans, they run off narratives, most of the time lies, and they also run off of highlights. You got TikTok highlights, you got YouTube shorts, and a lot of these fans, man, they don't watch a full boxing match. They don't sit down and try to learn the sport. They watch highlights. If they don't see something exciting, trust me, they're gonna run with that. And then that creates a whole narrative, and that is the majority of the fan base that rules boxing now. So with that being said, Shakur Stevenson, he gotta go out there and do something spectacular. He damn near almost gotta go out there and stop this guy Artrum. Now, Artrum, he ain't no bum, he's not a pushover. We seen him fight against Frank Martin, and he gave Frank Martin the toughest fight of his entire career up until the Gervonta Davis fight. You know, Frank Martin told y'all how good this dude was. So if y'all believe that Frank Martin is a good fighter, well, him and Artrum are damn near on the same level from what we've seen in the ring. But regardless of all of that, let's listen to what Shakur Stevenson said about his upcoming fight.
My opponent made it in yet?
No, he didn't.
No? You better hurry up. I should be right there in the line. Cook him. It depends on how tough he is. How much punishment he can take. I know he's gonna start running and then I gotta cut the ring. Around 6, 7, he ain't gonna start moving all around. I cut the ring off.
So y'all can clearly hear that Shakur, he talking different. He said, nah, I'm gonna put it on him to where he's gonna run, and then I'm gonna have to cut off the ring. And he's told the world, man, he going out here to stop this guy. He said he not gonna force it, but he gonna get the stoppage. And that's what the world wanna see, man. They wanna see some excitement, but let's not get it twisted. It doesn't matter how dominant Shakur Stevenson is on Saturday night. The haters that just live to hate on him, he not gonna get no credit. And when you think about all of the greats in boxing, you could talk about Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker. We could talk about Roy Jones. We could talk about Floyd Mayweather. All the greats, Muhammad Ali, they all got criticized at the highest level before they started to get praised. And something that I realized about Shakur Stevenson, man, just by watching him, doing interviews, maybe he just might have the type of attitude to where if he was getting praised like a Gervonta Davis and worshiped and, all of that, he might start smelling himself a little bit too hard. And some people, once they start smelling themselves a little bit too hard, they might fall off. Him getting all this criticism and all this hatred and people doubting him, maybe that keeps him up on his game. Maybe that keeps him going 175 miles an hour instead of 100 miles an hour. Because he always feels like he got something to prove, keeping that chip on his shoulder. Floyd Mayweather had to have. He had to have the criticism. He had to have the hate and the doubters. That's what drove him. And, I look at all of that, only making Shakur better. But he got to understand the way of the boxing world, the boxing fans, it'll never be like it was at one point in time. You got to put on certain type of performances when called for. And this is a time that calls for you to put on a spectacular performance, because you not only got the whole boxing world watching, you got these promoters watching, and your bag is on the line. And I 1,000% believe that Shakur Stevenson understands this, and he understands exactly what job he got to go out there and do on Saturday night. And because he is a special fighter, he's able to fight any style that's needed when it's needed. And Saturday night, it's needed for him to come forward and show out on the front foot, dominant performance. But these boxing fans don't understand, when you are talented on the level of a Shakur Stevenson, the great thing about all of this is you have the ability to fight all different styles when needed. He can fight on the front foot. He could fight off the back foot. He could fight inside, outside, and mid-range. And that's what y'all don't understand, man. You don't fight everybody the same exact way. Like a Shakur Stevenson, it would be stupid for him to get in the ring with somebody like a Subriel Matisse and try to go toe-to-toe with him. Nah, that's a fighter that you would fight on the outside, use your movement, use your whole skill set to beat him. But, y'all don't understand that. Y'all think it's just one way to fight and you got to go in there and stand in front of everybody. No, only an idiot does that. And, that's a whole different story in itself. But I do believe that Shakur Stevenson knows what performance he got to put on, and he has the ability to do it. That's the great thing about him. And we're going to see him carry out the task at hand and do it in a spectacular fashion. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all feel about this. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure you hit my like button, subscribe to the channel and all of that. And y'all already know how I do. Tego talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.
Game on lock, pressure gonna really what the industry needs, so I ain't gonna stop.